Hey guys, it's JB. Welcome to Third Eye Lucid Flow. Today's video may be graphic and disturbing for some viewers, so wanted to warn you, viewer discretion is advised. I'd like to take a look at the Chris Watts case. In this story, Chris Watts apparently killed his family, his two young daughters and his wife. I know when we take a look at these Hollywood stories, the letters C, E, W, and M always pop out. So I wanted to see if that's the case in this Chris Watts story. So let's check it out.
Mr. Watts, why did you kill your wife and two children?
The 33-year-old is being held in a Colorado jail.
WATTS.
What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, it's got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, and see where they went. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann, S-H-A-N-A-N-N.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste.
Celeste.
C-E-L-E-S-T-E.
How old are your daughters?
Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
It's interesting if we look at the two children in this story, their names are Celeste and Bella. So we can see Celeste is spelt with 3 E's, so that gives us a 333. Even the name CC is her nickname. So that's spelt with 2 C's and 2 E's there.
After he reportedly confessed to killing his pregnant wife Shanann and their two daughters, 3-year-old Celeste and 4-year-old Bella. Their bodies were discovered on Thursday on the property.
So when we actually take a look at where the bodies were found of the family members in the story, it states that it was 3 miles away from the Watts family home, approximately 3 miles north. And then we see in this story here, harrowing photos and written report detail the painstaking process of retrieving Chris Watts' 2 daughters from oil drums 3 days after their father murdered them and dumped their bodies. And in this article too, it states 2 400-barrel tanks. So the barrel is an interesting word in this story because Chris actually mentions this later.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times. Texted her about 3 times. Just to say, what's going on? Like after I called her and texted her once, it's like. Right.
Even when we take a look at the picture of Shanann and his daughters on the front porch of their home, they're wearing Pittsburgh Steelers jerseys, and if you add the 2 numbers together for the children, one's wearing number 26 and the other one's wearing number 7, that brings us to 33. So it seems right off the bat there's a lot of the 3 symbolism in the story. Let's continue. There is this one poster, Kat. She states another thing that really irritates me about this family is they consistently wore clothing with messages on it. And I found this to be very true. So in the pictures, with all the clothing and everything like that, it's giving us a subliminal message. Another thing with Shanann, she was born on January 10th of 1984 and she died August 13th of 2018. So she was actually in her 33rd year and she had just turned 34 years old. So then we see this picture of Shanann in her jersey and looks like she's got the same numbers, the 4 and the 3, same numbers as the age that she died at 34 years old.
3-year-old Celeste and 4-year-old Bella.
Hey everybody. I should have hashtag Go Steelers because, it's game day.
So apparently the Watts family, they were all fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when we take a look at the Steelers, and we can see with the Steelers, they've actually got 3 E's in that name, so 333. So all of it's very coincidental. Another interesting thing about this story is the story behind the t-shirt Chris Watts was wearing during his sermon on the porch. He's actually wearing a North Carolina Tar Heels t-shirt. And when we take a look at the Carolina Tar Heel logo, we notice there's got the C in the background and the name of the team starts with a C. So it's a CC. Even the name of the heels, it's got 2 E's in it, so there's another 33.
But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like, if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just get ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me.
Even if we look at this next video where the police go to the neighbor's house and to see if he had any footage on his cameras that are outside of his house, he goes to replay the video to bring anything up. And in the video, again, it's all subliminal, right? But in the background, we've got a fetus in tar oil. And here's that video. So I don't know what the odds of that would be, where you pop on this little brief commercial and it's got the exact same situation that is unfolding in the Chris Watts story, where his kids are put into oil barrels and that's how they die, basically. That's how the story goes. On top of the fact that, you know, Chris talks about the kids wanted to barrel rush him.
Like barrel rushing me.
Plus he's got Tar Heels t-shirt on.
Just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
So the reporter is going to let Chris know he's going to ask a couple tough questions about the kid. And you can see that Chris can barely compose himself and he can't stop smiling.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with the kids.
I mean, yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And this, like, I mean, last night, like, during, like, you know, when they usually eat dinner, it was just like, I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, you know, and just like, you're not going to get your snack after. I miss that. Like, I miss them, you know, cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, you know, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, you know, it was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night. And for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on. I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on. No, I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. That's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it.
So pretty piss poor acting performance there by Chris Watts, of course. When these guys can't stop laughing like this, it's very telling.
I want everybody to just come home. Like, wherever they're at, come home.
What was she going for? Like family trip or what?
It was a Thrive direct sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
So when we take a look at Shanann and what she was doing for a living, she was working for MLM, multi-level marketing.
And that night, that day she was back,
I left work early that morning, like 5:15, 5:30. So like she barely got into bed pretty much.
this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she...
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back.
So as we can see, Chris is basically laughing his ass off here on the front porch. His family is supposedly missing. It's so hard to determine if this guy is just a character playing a role or what's going on here. There's so many different mixed signals in the story.
I just want them to come back. And I just want them back.
Thanks for your time today, of course. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.